It's the 411.
Welcome back to the virtual studio. I am Pat Daly. Welcome back to the 411 podcast. To my left, Mr. Michael Quattromani.
It is always a pleasure to be here.
And below me, Mr. Will Casey.
Happy to be here.
Boys, I want to be the first to say to you guys and everybody, happy 2021. We made it through an absolutely terrible year. Hopefully things are going to be looking up. Maybe not for the Patriots, but things are going to be looking up this year. Boys, how are we feeling?
You know, it's a tough thing. Feeling great about 2021, though.
Feeling good. I love
Maybe
it.
not so much about the Pats, but
That's fair. Mike.
I'm very optimistic about 2021. I think this could be a good year. I really do.
You know what? I think it's going to be good. It's going to be a good year for the world. And I think maybe next season it's going to be a better year for the Patriots. But we'll see. Hopefully.
It's a big offseason coming up, definitely.
A very important offseason, Will. I'm with you. And we'll keep you informed on this offseason. But let's get right into it. Let's focus on the now. First up, we are going to be talking about Patriots Bills. Oh, man, there's not a lot to like about this game. We're going to dive right into it. Next up is going to be Patriots Jets. Oh, man. And I think Mike said it before. Like, this team just has so much more momentum than we do. It's going to be I'm a little nervous about it. But you know what? It's our last game. Strange to say that a Patriots team is going to play their last game of the season in the regular season. It's pretty weird, but we're going to finish through our last game, hopefully with the W. And to finish it off, obviously, no fantasy. Congratulations to Neil Detello, our good buddy, for winning our fantasy championship, dethroning me. Well done. Bravo.
No, well, dethroning me, but
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. That Will was the fantasy winner last year, but Will did beat me. I mean,
it's ironic. Pat lost in the runner-up this year. I lost in the runner-up last year, and Will won last year. So
we're just the best at fantasy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess.
And to finish it off, guys, it's playoff time. We got one more week and it's playoff time. So we're going to be talking and predicting our seeding because there is a lot I feel like more than usual just because of the 7 seed. There is a lot at stake when it comes to different scenarios of playoff seeding. So boys, let's get right into it. Let's talk Patriots Bills. Mike, start us off.
It was a bad game for the Patriots.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. I mean, it's just
look, Cam Newton once again had a bad outing. Again, we always say, oh, it's a must-win week. It's a kind of like we've been saying that every week. Well, we've also been saying this every week. Cam Newton once again had a bad outing, with ultimately ending up with him getting benched. The only bright spot.
I'd just like to add that there was 9 total completions between 2 quarterbacks.
So, usually have a run-heavy performance, but it wasn't even that run-heavy either.
Sony Michel looked all right.
I was just about to say
7 yards a carry. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was the only bright spot with less than 7 yards per carry, just less. And J.D. Taylor was a spark plug at times too. I love that guy. They didn't get to Josh Allen once. He was unscathed the entire night. They didn't sack him. They didn't get him on the ground. Stephon Diggs went for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns, cementing himself as a top 5 receiver, in my opinion, potentially a top 3 receiver in the NFL this season. Really, there's nothing good to take away from this game, honestly. Again, last week there was something good to take away. The week before that, there was something good to take away. This week, to me, is no different. Patriots, they need to do a lot over the offseason if they want to get into contention again. And whether that's going out and drafting Kyle Trask, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, someone like that, or if it's trading for a seasoned veteran like Matt Stafford, whatever it is, they got to do something because
Mac Jones.
New England is used to winning. And I know we might be spoiled and born with a silver spoon in our mouths or whatever you want to say, but this is not going to go over well in New England if this is just going to be a continual. I'll tell you this much. If Cam Newton's back next year,
we got problems.
Could be a lot of controversy among New England.
Yes.
As bad as this game was, I do think there were some pluses. I'd like to bring some positivity back into this.
I love it.
I love it, dude. That's great.
Now, I did have to dig for pluses.
Yeah.
Dave Bailey, he averaged 51 yards per punt, of which he had 7 punts. 4 out of those 7 were inside the 20. I think that's
about digging. We got to give the punter credit. That's how much digging Will has to do to get positive.
That is.
Terez Hall continued to show that he can be a great inside linebacker for us, especially with no Dante Hightower. 9 completions total in the air. I just can't. 78 combined yards, under 100 combined yards in the air, and less than 10 total completions. They started out strong. They really did. They started out, it looked like it was going to be a competitive Pats-Bills big division game. They started out strong, but it seemed like right after Folk missed that PAT, the defense just couldn't handle it. They looked like Swiss cheese out there.
Yeah, no, I think you boys wrapped up really, really well. Why didn't they start Stidham is my first words. I'm not even telling you that he played good, because I think that's one of the biggest takeaways of the game. Stidham did not play well. I still feel like we haven't given him a chance as much as we should, but Stidham didn't play well. We put him in and he didn't play well. And kind of been a recurring theme. He hasn't been playing great when we put him in, but we haven't given him that opportunity to be the starter. So I don't know how well someone like that in that position would expected to play to that kind of level. But there's not a lot to love in this game. I think that our run game did okay, like you guys said. Cam was sacked 3 times for a loss of 22 yards total. The offensive line clearly didn't play to their potential. This was just a bad game all around. And I think Mike highlighted this a little bit. Simple as this. We are missing pieces. I know that this team can be successful, because if you think about it like this, guys, this will probably be our final wrap-up of a Patriots game, because we're going to be diving right into playoffs next week. Stay tuned for that. But just to wrap up this and kind of this season in general, this team is so finicky. It's so like they show signs of greatness sometimes, and then they crash and burn and lose to the Texans, and then lose to the Broncos.
Yeah, I remember back in week 1 and week 2 even, we played the Seahawks, and it was literally a 1-yard game. We could compete, and we were hopeful about the season.
It was so funny. It was so funny, too, because we were like, we're Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
We were so – because Cam Newton was playing pretty solid. Our defense was, holding up to the best of their ability, a young defense. But I am a firm believer in that, in maybe not like definitely next year, but in the next couple of years, this team will contend. I promise. If we can get good, solid pieces, I think we're like 4 or 5 players short. I really, really do. I think we are so close. But we need pieces. This offseason, we need to get some
next year, I'm thinking Patrick Chung and Hightower and maybe some other guys will come back from that COVID reserve list. Mm-hmm. That definitely did not help.
Yeah, I mean, look, you lost 2 of your signal callers on defense. When Russell Wilson's at the line of scrimmage and he calls an audible, Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung are the guys that are supposed to audible with them in order to adjust to the play calling. You don't have those guys on defense anymore. You have Devin McCourty, who can adjust the secondary, and that's why the secondary has played well this year. But for your front 7, you don't have your Dante Hightower.
Secondary has not played well this year.
Yeah, they have. They're number 8 in opposing passing yards. They're top 10. Their rush defense has been bottom 8. That's the difference.
Dude, our secondary has not played well this year. I know that for a fact. I don't have like a stat. Look, I could get it.
I have a stat. Dude, they're top 8. They're number 8 in the NFL, Pat.
Dude, they have not played well this year at all.
They're number 8 in the NFL. What else am I supposed to say?
All right.
They're the 8th best pass defense. Look, maybe they haven't passed the eye test, fine, but statistically, they are a top 8 pass defense in the NFL. And I think that the better half of their defense has been their pass defense, not their run defense. And that is because they lost Dante Hightower, who was the team captain on defense last year. So when you lose him, that hurts you a lot. And you throw in Patrick Chung, but I did say you still have Devin McCourty, who can still make those calls for the defense. I agree, though. I think they are a few players short. I do think you need to develop some of that young talent. That's why we've seen over the last few years, the Patriots have had some of the oldest teams statistically in the NFL, yet they've still been able to win Super Bowls. It's because they've had talented players. This year, they let a lot of those talented players go, and they didn't have a whole lot of veterans on this team because some of them opted out or they left in free agency. So you had to rely on your younger players. Well, the Patriots haven't drafted good younger players in the last few years. You've drafted Cyrus Jones, Jawan Williams.
The Patriots have had drafting struggles for forever. Yeah. Our last good draft picks are literally Tom Brady, who is a 6th round.
Yeah, like N'Keal Harry, like all these guys who came in the 1st and 2nd rounds, all these guys have been very poor picks. You can't build a team around them because 3 of those guys aren't even on the team anymore. So if you can either draft, and look at this year, I know I'm kind of going off of all different sides of my head right now, but look at this year. You drafted Dalton Keene and Devin Asiasi in the 3rd round. Where have those guys been? We haven't seen either of those guys this year. I don't know. I just think either you got to bring in some veterans like you've been doing in the past and winning Super Bowls, or you got to actually draft good young talent and not overthink things by drafting a D2 player in Kyle Duggar.
Yeah. I couldn't have put it better myself. I think quarterback needs to be the number one issue because clearly Stidham, I don't think Stidham or Newton's the answer. I think we need either, like you said, get a veteran or draft one. I'm a big believer in not putting a Band-Aid on it and drafting somebody. We need a long-term answer.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
And that's the one thing that people have been saying, like, oh, you know, if you bring in Matt Stafford, then you can kind of use that as a bridge quarterback for 4 to 5 years, so you don't have to rush into getting a rookie quarterback. And I agree with that to an extent. I'd love to see Matt Stafford here, especially, you know, you are the New England culture. This is a winning team. Personally, that's what I think they should do. But if you want, look, if they're gonna go out and draft a first-round guy like a Kyle Trask or something like that, I'm so fine with that. Like, I'd be so happy about that. Or Zach Wilson at BYU. Like, some of these quarterbacks are so skilled. This is one of the most talented quarterback drafts we've had in recent memory. We'll just have to see what happens, though.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. I think there's a lot of hope with the Patriots. We still got to finish out this week 17, finish out this season, hopefully as strong as we can. Let's talk Patriots Jets. Will, start us off.
All right, listen, this is our Super Bowl. We're playing against the Jets. They're 2-13. There is absolutely no reason that the Patriots should lose this game. I know the Jets are coming off a big win against LA and another big win, but this will be unacceptable. If the Pats lose this game, they're officially a hot mess. They're officially miserable, and it will absolutely kill the team spirit that's already fragile. We saw Cam Newton's pretty depressing press conference earlier this week. He was saying all the work that he's putting in, it's depressing to go out there, put in all this work, and then get your ass kicked, and then have to wake up and do it all the next day. As much as we hate Cam Newton, I respect his drive, and I respect the amount of effort that he's putting into the Patriots. It's really just not working out. It's kind of the skills. It's hard to explain. He has not quite Tom Brady level effort, but close to it. And he can't seem to put it together.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't have put it better myself. This game is important. And I know it doesn't really seem like it, but I do feel like it's important. I think about it like this.
It's a must win.
Right. And this is the way I think about it. Like you were saying, Will, in the eyes of Cam, this may be the last game we see Cam in a Patriots uniform.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the Jets are on a 2-game winning streak. And Sam Darnold has thrown no interceptions in those games. So, yeah, are the Jets hot right now?
The Jets are hot. However, as we just learned, the Patriots have been having a lot of success in their secondary. Statistically.
I think this is going to be a weirdly, uncomfortably close game. So, like you said, the secondary, J.C. Jackson's obviously has to come up big. It's a little conflict of interest for me, though. Mike, I want you to take it away because I know who I'm rooting for. But due to the draft, at the end of the day, who do you want to win this game?
So Pat and I were sitting in like some drive-thru. I forgot where it was. I'm like, so the Patriots can either have the 16th pick of the draft or they can have the 9th pick in the draft. I'm like, would it be unpatriotic if I rooted for the Jets? And he's like, I mean, the 9th pick of the draft doesn't seem too bad. So, like,
look, we're already out of the playoffs.
I feel like rooting for the Jets might be, it's more beneficial for the Patriots. That's what it comes down to for me.
I will root for the Patriots always. And if they win, I'm going to be hyped.
Yes.
But if they lose, it'd be the most excited I'd be about a loss.
But my whole thing is like,
no, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
My whole thing is like maybe rooting for a loss is in a way rooting for the Patriots.
It definitely is. I was just about to say that. You're rooting for something good to happen for the Patriots.
Exactly.
A loss in the name is bad, but in this case, it's good, right?
So like if the Patriots are up by 1 and whoever their kicker is has like a 35-yard to win the game.
Whoever their kicker is.
I'm not going to be like rooting against them. I don't know. Like if that's unpatriotic, please comment and let me know and put me in my place. But like, I feel like rooting for the Jets might be the move here. Personally, I think it is. I'm not going to bore you all again because I feel like a broken record. And I bet Pat and Will are very bored of me saying this too. But can we please start Jarrett Stidham? Okay, I'm done with that. I just think if they do start Cam Newton, I'm worried that means that Bill is going to think that it's a good idea to sign him back next year. And I will say, I think, Will, can you update us on what your feeling on or your stance on Cam Newton is?
I like Cam Newton, but I think his time in a Patriots uniform has come to an end. It's just not working.
Okay, just making sure on the same
Is
page.
it here? The question
just-
here.
just
The
wanna
question here. The question here is it worth it to not draft a quarterback, but instead focus on wide receivers and maybe make some trades in the offseason and try to build a team around Cam? Is it worth it? That's the question.
I don't think it is.
Cam has showed time and time again that he can't lead this football team. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
so too.
It-
Yeah,
it-
I like.
it's like a breakup that went well. No hard feelings. It didn't work out. You know, good
Yeah.
sides on both. It just didn't work out. That kind of thing.
Kind of. I know I've really been. I probably criticized Belichick a little too much, but at the end of the day, this team really doesn't have a lot of talent. Honestly, look at the roster. Like, they don't have a top 10 player in any position on offense except for David Andrews and Michael Wenu, who is your 6th round pick. They don't have a top 10 in any other position in the entire team. Well, for the offense, at least. For the defense, they have J.C. Jackson. I think Gilmore. I don't know if Gilmore is, and I don't even know if Devin McCourty is. So I know for sure they have one player on defense that's top 10. That's it. So with that being said, 6-8 or 6-10, what are they are right now? 6-9. They are potentially 7-9. I think that's a success given the talent they have, but like, I don't know. Did this team overachieve or did they
given the Patriots' history, it definitely feels like underachieving. If we were coming off an already bad season, it wouldn't feel as bad.
Look, it's
okay,
weird.
here's what I'm gonna ask.
But we were coming off the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just don't look from like the Seahawks game because obviously from bang, the second Cam Newton was signed and the three of us made our predictions. Did this team overachieve or underachieve? Let's say they go 7-9 and beat the Jets.
I think at the beginning of the season, my prediction was 11-5 or something like that.
Mine was too.
Which, yeah, I'd say they underachieved this season big time. I think our expectations for Cam Newton were way too high.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. They definitely were.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? This game, I think, is going to be extremely close because this is the way that I think about it, right? Who's the quarterback of the New York Jets?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Do you think he's going to be starting next year?
Well, the guy's fighting for his job right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, okay? Sam Darnold in this game is going to be going balls to the walls. He's he's like you just said, he's worried about his job. He might be replaced by a quarterback in the draft. We don't know. So he's going to try to have the best showing he can to have the best showing he can to try to either show A, the Jets that he can make a splash, or B, to show other teams potentially in a trade or a pickup that he has a chance of finding a landing spot in the future this offseason.
Okay, I agree with you 100%, but Cam Newton is also in the exact same position.
So that's what I'm saying. I think Cam's gonna do the exact
same. There's drive coming from both sides. They both want it the same amount. It's going to come down to skill. This game's going to come down to skill, and we're going to see, I think, Cam Newton in his purest form.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold is much more skilled than Cam Newton.
This game will show that.
Sam Darnold's a much better arm. He has healthier legs.
Fair. Yeah, no, I saw the Patriots. I agree with Will that the drive on both sides is definitely there, and I do agree it's going to come down to skill. And I do agree with you, Michael, that Patriots are not if you look at the roster, a skilled team, but they're more skilled than the Jets. I have the Patriots winning this one in a close one, 17-13 Patriots.
I've got the same thing. Scarily close game. I've kind of a sick feeling. They'll take the win, 24-20 Patriots.
Mike.
He's going to say the Jets are winning. He's about to do it.
I really don't know. Like, for me, this is like right now, I think the Jets are the better team. Yeah, happy 2021. I don't know. I really don't know. But if the Jets win that, I would not be surprised at all. Like, not one bit of me would be surprised if the Jets win this game at all.
Yeah, I saw the Patriots.
Listen, it's gonna be a close one, whether we like it or not.
Mike, give me a score prediction. Give me a winner.
I'll take 21-17 Patriots.
We got, you know what? We finish out the season. All W predictions around. I love it, boys. But you know what?
Yeah.
Adieu, New England Patriots season. Let's focus on what's relevant. Let's focus on our final segment, the playoffs. I am super excited.
I'm so excited for this.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I am so excited for this year's playoffs. 7th seed. Going to be very cool. Boys, do you mind if I start this segment off?
Go for it.
Oh, thank you. So, let's start with AFC. So we're going to be giving our seeding predictions. So I think the Chiefs already locked the 1 spot.
Yes.
They're all locked in there. So then it breaks down to a lot of different stuff, right? The 2nd seed, I do have the Bills. All the Bills need to do is win their game against the Dolphins, and they seal the 2nd seed. Would you agree?
Yeah, hold on. I also have the Bills at 2, but that's crazy. Think about it. The Buffalo Bills are the 2nd best team in the whole AFC. That just doesn't sound right to me.
Doesn't sound. And you know what? It's even crazier that the Steelers were the number 1 seed like 3 weeks ago.
And on top of that, the Finns have a shot at the playoffs.
I have the Finns in the playoffs. I think they're going to make it.
No, I don't. I have the Browns in there at number 7, but
no,
they definitely do have a shot.
So next up, I have the 3rd seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers. All the Steelers need to do is beat the Browns. And I do think the Steelers are going to beat the Browns in a close one. I just don't see the Steelers losing that many games in just to finish off their season. I think it's easy to say, oh, they're going to lose because, I don't know. Like people are just very biased against the Steelers just because, everybody thinks they're overrated. And,
I do the Cowboys of the AFC.
Right. I do think they're going to end up pulling out with a win. I have them at the 3 seed. 4 seed to finish off our division winners. I have the Tennessee Titans. All they need to do is win their game against the Texans. And I do think they're going to win in a close one. I do think that they're going to put up a fight. Like you said, if your team isn't in the Super Bowl, if your team isn't in the playoffs, they're going to play their last game like it's the Super Bowl. It's going to be close, but I do think the Tennessee Titans will pull it off. The 5th seed, all the Ravens need to do is win and they're in. So simple as that. I do think they're going to end up taking the W and making it into the playoffs. The 6th seed is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. They need to beat the Jaguars. Come on. They're going to beat the Jaguars. And to finish off.
Week 1.
What's that?
Jaguars beat the Colts week 1.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, that was their only win the whole season.
Yep. I still think the momentum is there for them. But wait, week 1, that means, hold on, the Jaguars went 1-0?
And then 0-12.
And then they lost out. That's crazy. Or we think they lose out. Imagine they get both wins against the Colts. That'd be crazy.
The Jaguars and the Washington football team were both on top of the each conference at the end of week 1.
That's crazy. Oh my God. So, and to finish off at my 7th seed, I can't believe that the New York Jets may have screwed over the Browns' chances at making the playoffs.
Yeah, the New York Jets.
It's simple as this for the Browns. Win and they're in, lose and they're most likely out. That's a little...
Lose and they're going to need a lot of help.
They're going to need a lot of help, and that is crazy to me. So I do have the Miami Dolphins sneaking into the playoffs with the 7th seed.
No.
All right, talk to us.
I don't see it.
Oh, hold on. Are the Browns are playing the Steelers next week, right?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
The Browns are going to win.
I don't think they are.
Do you know the Steelers are sitting Big Ben?
All right.
Steelers are sitting Big Ben.
Oh, are they?
They're sitting Roethlisberger. The Cleveland Browns are going to win this because, like you said, if they win, they're in. If they lose, they're out because Indianapolis is going to beat Jacksonville. But here's what I want to do.
That changes things.
Exactly. This is my favorite time of the year because all I've been posting on my TikTok for the last week has been oh, if this team wins, here's all the things that could happen. I love doing this stuff. This is so much fun. So all the bubble teams in the conference right now are Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Indianapolis. Obviously, seeding can change between Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and the Titans, but that's mostly set in stone based on their matchups. If Cleveland wins, a lot changes, though. If Cleveland beats Pittsburgh, they're in the playoffs. If Jacksonville beats the Colts are then kicked out of the playoffs and Miami makes it. But personally, I don't see that happening. I see wait, this says Tennessee's out. Oh, no, Tennessee's out the 4th seed. Sorry, my thing was not right for a second. So right now, what I have for the seeding is I have the Chiefs at 1, Bills at 2, Steelers at 3, Titans at 4. That's all pretty consensus, I'm guessing, between the 4 of us. And then I have wait, why do I have Miami at 5?
Oh, because Miami's the best team.
I guess so. So I guess I have Miami at 5. I'm sorry. Could one of you take this for some? I think my thing's a little
Yeah. All right. So as it stands right now, me and Pat have the exact same AFC playoff seeding list down to the number until number 7. I have the Browns at number 7. The Jets made it scary for a minute there, but now that we know Big Ben's sitting, some of the other Steelers starters are sitting, I think the Browns are definitely going to come out on top of the win and hold on to that 7 seed.
I don't know. I still have the that's a good point though. Michael, why are they just sitting Big Ben? Because
no idea. It makes no sense to me, because I guess what they're doing right now is assuming that Buffalo is going to beat Miami, and if that is the case, then Pittsburgh can't really move out of the 3 seed. So it makes sense though to do that.
That strikes me as very risky.
It does, but when you have a 38-year-old quarterback who's had injury problems as of recent, I guess
I don't know. I think you can't take your foot off the gas.
I can't either. I don't understand it personally.
That strikes me as a terrible idea. I think that's really stupid.
But I think Cleveland will make it. I think if everybody's healthy in Cleveland, I think they will make it. But yeah, so my thing's finally updated. Sorry. So I have Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and then at 5 I have Baltimore. At 6 I have Cleveland. In 7 I have the Colts barely making it. All 4 of those last teams I just named are all 11-5. Miami is the odd man out at 10-6, not making it. Miami's a great team. I see them in the playoffs next year for sure. I just don't think they'll make it this year, personally.
I don't know. And look, that obviously changes things for me. Big Ben is out. That's huge. Yeah, I mean, I guess you changed my mind. So I mean, if the Browns do win that game, then for me, I guess it goes Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Baltimore, Cleveland, Colts. Yeah. Mike, I'm with you.
Yep.
Well,
yeah, we've got pretty much the exact same list.
Consensus. That's crazy. That I still think that's stupid, but hey, we'll have to see. Super excited for Wild Card Weekend. It's always a super exciting part of the NFL. Let's get to NFC. Honestly, this part, I think NFC is a little more exciting.
Yeah, it is.
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, we got a big game coming up. Rams Cardinals. That's a big game.
So first seed is, I think first seed will end up being Green Bay. The only way that Green Bay can mess this up is that if they lose to the Bears. Do you think it's possible?
Okay. So they're the 1 seed right now. If they lose to the Bears and Seattle wins their matchup against San Fran and the Rams win their matchup against the quarterbackless, if the Cardinals beat the Rams without a quarterback, Green Bay gets knocked down from 1st to 3rd because New Orleans would then bump up to 1st and Seattle would then take the 2 seed because of their conference records over Green Bay. I think that is unreal. Want to
hear something weird? Ready? I'm just messing with the simulator right now. If the Bears beat the Packers and the Panthers beat the Saints, Seattle gets the 1st seed.
Unreal.
Wow.
I love this simulator. I think it's so cool. But at the end of the day, I do think the Packers will end up beating the Bears. That puts them at the 1 seed. I do think the Saints will end up beating the Panthers. That puts the Saints at the 2 seed. Now we get to the exciting game.
Just for the record, the only team that's really locked into any seed is Tampa Bay at 5. Every other team has a chance to screw things something.
Yep. So pretty much this is it right here.
Oh, I've
Cardinals Rams.
What I'm interested to hear is who you guys have at the 4 seed.
The 4 seed right now. Wow, I love this. So NFC least. I love this division. So right now, just for everybody watching, just to figure this out, Washington is winning. They're in. If they win against the Eagles, they're in. This is interesting. That's a very hot Jalen Hurts, and a Washington team that's kind of crashing and burning right now with whole Dwayne Haskins. He was stripped of his starting job, which is very sad.
I think the Eagles can do it.
Yeah, honestly, I do have. I don't know. I had Washington. I'm starting to think that the Eagles may take it, and then it comes down to the Cowboys and why am I blanking?
Giants.
Thank you. And then it comes down to the Cowboys and the Giants game. That's pretty much it. Winner of that goes to the playoffs.
Yep.
And at the end of the day,
So who do you have?
I have the Cowboys making the
playoffs.
Let's go.
I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I do have the Cowboys making the playoffs.
How about them Cowboys?
Which makes me so angry as a human being, but I do have the Cowboys making the playoffs.
I agree with Pat to a T about that. I think right now Philly is in a place where they're like, you know what? Beware. This is our starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts wants to put the league on notice. So,
and you know what, dude? They're looking to screw up somebody's season. They're pissed.
Exactly. I think Washington's going to be the victim of that crime. They're crashing and burning. Obviously, the team chemistry is a little bit screwed up. I think they will drop that game to Philly. Dallas will beat the Danny turnovers. And I think that, again, New York Giants, another team crashing and burning to the end of the season. The Dallas Cowboys, with a big statement W versus the Eagles last week, will limp their way into the playoffs. So my thing is as follows. I got Green Bay at 1. I got New Orleans at 2. Seattle at 3. Pretty sure all of ours are the same, I'm guessing. And Dallas at 4. I know Pat and I agree, pending Will's response. Number 5, I got Tampa.
I have the Cowboys at 4. I said it.
You got Cowboys 4 too?
Let's go, boy.
Oh, all right. So then 6 and 7. This is where really what it comes down to is Arizona, LA, and Chicago. I think we're all in agreement there because I think those are actually the only 3 teams that aren't eliminated from the playoffs. Those matchups are really the only matchup that depends if Green Bay were to beat Chicago is Arizona and LA. So if Arizona wins that game, Arizona moves into the 6th seed. LA then retains the 7th seed. If LA wins with a backup quarterback, a guy who played for the XFL, if LA wins, LA is then pushed into the 6th seed. Chicago, with a loss to the Packers, Chicago will then still take the 7th seed, and Arizona will then be the odd man out, falling out of the playoffs at 8 and 8.
Yeah, pretty much the Cardinals are in a very similar win and they're in.
I have the Cardinals making the playoffs at 6, LA just squeaking by at 7.
Yeah.
I have a very similar list. We've got, the NFC, it's kind of predictable. We think we know what's going on. We got Packers, Saints, Seahawks, Cowboys, Bucks. Those pretty much locked with the exception of the Cowboys. At 6 and 7. All right, we got a big game coming up. Rams versus the Cardinals. That's a pretty big game. It's going to decide the seeding for not just those two, but another team as well. I'm not too sure who exactly it is. Let me just look here for a minute.
Jeez.
Anyway, still a big game, and I have the Rams at number 6 and the Cardinals at number 7.
I love this. Sorry, God,
did you say that the Rams are going to go without Jared Goff?
Yeah, Jared Goff has got something. He got a boo-boo on his thumb, so Jared Goff is going to be out. And Josh, I think his name is Josh something. Some guy who played for the XFL is getting the nod for the what do you call it? The something caller. I don't know what the name is. But yeah.
Wait, have the Rams already made the playoffs?
I think so. Actually, is there any way the Rams don't? If Chicago,
they are not clinched. The Rams are not clinched.
I think there is, but they can lose and still make the playoffs. A lot has to happen for them to miss the playoffs.
Wait, actually, no. There is a chance that LA won't make the playoffs. It's unlikely. But if the red-hot Chicago Bears team can beat Green Bay, then LA would be kicked, and Arizona were to beat LA. LA would be then kicked out of the playoffs, odd man out 9 and 7. And the craziest thing about it, the Packers would then be the 3 seed. New Orleans would move into 1st, and Seattle would move into 2nd, unless New Orleans were to lose to Carolina and Seattle were to beat San Fran. Then Seattle would be the 1 seed. Green Bay would be 2. New Orleans would be 3. Chicago would be 6. Dallas and Tampa would be 4 and 5. Arizona would be 7, and LA would again be the odd man out as the 8 seed. Pure chaos.
Civil unrest. Absolute chaos. I love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Unreal.
The chaotic,
Unreal.
chaotic end to a very chaotic year and season.
Yeah, seriously. At the end of the day, though, I do have the Packers beating the Bears, sadly. And I do have, just because of the problematic quarterback situation with the Rams, I do have the Cardinals beating the Rams. So I think we're pretty much consensus for the first time in literally forever. But I think we are. I'm going to read off my AFC and NFC, and you guys just tell me if it's right. And you guys agree. I have the first seed Chiefs, second seed Buffalo, third seed Pittsburgh, fourth seed Tennessee, fifth seed Baltimore, sixth seed Cleveland, and seventh seed Indianapolis.
I had the same exact thing.
Yeah, pretty much down to the number.
Yeah. So NFC, I have first seed Green Bay, second seed New Orleans Saints, third seed Seattle, fourth seed Dallas Cowboys. Makes me cringe, but kind of laugh. Fifth seed, pretty much sealed, Tampa Bay. Sixth seed, Arizona, and seventh seed, LA Rams.
Yeah, I have the same exact list.
All right, so I have the same exact list, except for both of them, I have 6 and 7 flipped.
6 and
So
7.
mine, so in the AFC, it goes Browns at 6, Colts at 7, and NFC's Cardinals at 6, Rams at 7.
No,
I just don't know if that's statistically possible.
No, Will, we had the same ones. Browns at 6, Browns at 6, Colts at 7. Cardinals at 6, Rams at 7. We had the same list.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. We literally have the exact same list. I cannot believe that, but we do have the exact same list. Look, just to wrap up, boys, this is going to be a very exciting week 17. I love this. I love when games are on the line. Week 17, playoffs are made and broken. But I want to ask you guys, what do you think is going to be the most interesting and most important game to watch this week 17?
I think honestly, I think it really has to be Arizona and LA. I know it's kind of a boring answer. But at least I was gonna say Pittsburgh and Cleveland doesn't really have like knockout implications. But I mean, look, if
that's the big game to watch. However, there's in the other bigger games with some of the higher seeds, we just know they're gonna win.
For me, dude, it's got to be Dallas, New York. I am so excited.
Oh yes, I'm so excited for that NFC game.
The only thing about Dallas, New York is it only matters if Washington loses.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Dude, I mean, I think they're gonna lose. I really
okay.
I don't.
Loses.
Who's the Washington playing?
Eagles.
I think the Eagles can take that.
I think so too.
I'd love to see Jalen.
Let's go. The best part about it is like none of the games really overlap. Cardinals and Rams are both at 425. Washington and Eagles.
The NFL switched that around perfectly.
Yeah. Washington and Eagles are on at 820. Cardinals and Rams are 425. Steelers and Browns are on at 1 o'clock. So are Cowboys and Giants. That is going to be awesome. I'm so excited for this. Oh my God.
It's going to be a fun Sunday. For the first time, we have wrapped up an episode of the 401 podcast in 2021. Can't believe it. We started this podcast in 2019. We have filmed podcast in 3 separate years. That's crazy to think about.
Crazy.
Boys, we got an exciting week 17, and we have an exciting playoff podcast scheduled. We're going to keep you updated. We're going to fill you in. That wraps up this episode of the 401 podcast. I'm Pat Daly signing off.
Michael Quattromani signing off.
And Will Casey signing off.
This is the 401 podcast, and we will see you next time. Happy 2021. Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Very nice.
Good stuff.
Great podcast.